Alrighty. Here we are again. Don't you love my table? It looks very painterly, don't you think? Alright. Here we go. Let me move this, turn this light a little bit. There we go. Hey! Hi, guys. Hi, Patty. Hi, Karla. Lisa. Hi, Laura. I was wondering if you were going to come. How are you guys doing? I missed you. I missed you. Wanted to see you again. Did I say hi, Patty? Hi, Patty. Yes, I did. I know I did. Oh, man. Are we whispering, Brooke? Hi, Brooke. You're a little troublemaker. So I did a what do you call it? A eco dye today. I used the leaves that Rosemary Morris sent me, and oh my gosh, I'm really happy with the whole entire boil. I think it turned out really nice. So I used those, and I know I must have been bad today. Actually, you know what? I was really good today, as a matter of fact. I put away all that crap that I got yesterday. Oh, right on, Patty. I know, I should just stream every night, right? Or somebody should, like Brooke or Karla or somebody, or Laura or somebody. No, I like doing it. It's fun. I'm used to talking to myself. And everybody that I live with is used to me just sitting here talking to my computer now. So it's all good. So yeah, I told you guys that I went to this park day before yesterday or something, I don't remember. And I got a whole bunch of leaves from all these different trees and stuff, and I got some I got some ginkgo leaves. So I was really, really excited to see if those would turn out. And they did. I'm so happy. So this dye, so some of these are still a little bit damp. I actually did put them in the oven real quick, like just real quick, just to kind of get them pretty much dry, right? Like this one's still a little bit wet, you can see. Anyways, and Karla said that you guys, that I needed to show you guys. So, so here I am. So yeah, so this is the ginkgo, and isn't it cool? I love it. So this dye, basically, here's what I put in the boil. I put water, and okay, so I did it in a big baking dish, like you know those those turkey roasters, okay? And so I put it in that, and then I use these big floor tiles. They're like rectangular shaped floor tiles that fit perfectly into that pan. And so I'm just telling you how I did it, just so, you know, in case you want to reproduce it or whatever, you know. Hi, Lolly. And anyway, so the papers are folded in half, okay. All of this was in that pan, like all this paper, okay. So this is just drawing paper. It's just regular drawing paper out of a big, it's one of those gigantic sketchbooks that you can buy with the black cover. So I took it apart, and you know, I use it, you know, just the paper. But anyway, so I'm just telling you what I used. So I used a big giant tile on the bottom, and then water to cover my stack. So I stack everything together, and then put another tile on top, and then I put a bunch of rubber bands around it, and then I tied it up with twine, with cotton twine too. Not too tight. You don't want to do it too extremely tight. But yeah, just tight enough. You want the paper to make good contact with the leaves, right? So so water to go above the top tile about an inch or so. As you know, you want to make sure you have enough room, so don't stack too many or you won't have enough room. And then I have a bunch of rusty stuff, like I have some railroad spikes and some old rusty wire and some old nuts and bolts that are rusted, and I have like this old bucket, like this little tiny bucket, and it's fallen apart and it's totally rusty. So I put pieces of that in there. And then I also added the skins and pits of 3 avocados into that water. And then about a cup of, I actually used cider vinegar because I didn't have any white vinegar. So I used cider vinegar, about a cup of that. And then what else? That's it. That's it. Okay. And then I just layered my leaves and my paper and all that. And then I baked it in, I covered it with the lid that fits on it. I baked it in the oven for probably 2 hours, you know, at like 400, so that it stays boiling pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. Well, Brooke, you got to get some wire and then rust it, maybe, or something. Or go somewhere where they might have some. Like, you know, like, oh, some kind of old, I don't know, like if you have like a building supply, like outlet type of place or something. Yeah, I haven't had a tetanus shot for years. Years and years. No, I'm just kidding. I had one last year. Anyways, Brooke, you certainly are nervous Nelly. She was nervous about me putting my head on that fabric too, you know what I mean? Yeah, junkyard. Absolutely. Go to a junkyard. Heck yeah. There's got to be tons of things that are rusty out there. Anyways, so then it's all, you know, stacked together. So, and then after I pulled it out of the oven, I did take some dark green liquid RIT dye, and I just dropped in about maybe 2 tablespoons of that before I untied everything, and I just kind of swished it around in there. And so I think I did get a little tiny bit of color from that, but you know, it's tied up pretty tight. So really I was just trying to get a little bit of color around the edges of my paper. But all of this color that is in here came from these leaves and from the reaction of the iron in the rusted metal, and then you know, whatever chemical compounds there are in the leaves, you know, that's what causes the dye. And I feel like I did get some color from the avocado. I did not use any onion skins in this at all. So that was the ginkgo. This is actually a horse chestnut leaf, so it's like those big, you can see I think I got a good leaf impression on just about every single sheet. These were maple leaves. I'm showing you the back and the front because there's different leaves on just about each surface. So this one's still a little bit wet. The thinner the paper that you use, the more fragile it is when you pull this whole thing apart. So you have to be really, really careful. What I do is I take a pan, like a bowl, and put it upside down in the sink, and then I take my pan that I've boiled everything in and set it on top of that bowl, and then I just turn the water onto a trickle and let that water run so that the whole thing kind of cools off, right? And then I'm sort of untying everything while that's going on, and then I'm just letting that water run, and it fills the pan and kind of overflows, and then I just gently start pulling things out, and the leaves will naturally kind of start floating away from the paper. And I think that's the best way to get the leaves off of the paper, is to just kind of let everything sort of float in that bath, and then you can just pull your papers out. So I don't remember what this was. Oh, these were some leaves like off of some bush at the park that I don't even know what it was, but you can kind of see the little yeah, and some other leaf on the back. I don't remember what this was. Oh, I think it was more of that same thing. It didn't give off a lot of color, but this was a maple leaf and some other tree leaf. I don't know what it was, but you can see it right there. This was from Rosemary. It was she sent me some extra leaves, some leaves off of a different one of her trees. I can't remember. I want to say it was a walnut, but I can't remember. And then I believe these were oak leaves. Yeah, and this is another. So this was folded like that, right? So with another one of those leaves from Rosemary inside. So the top of the leaf gives a different print than the bottom, obviously. What are you guys talking about? Okay, so anyway, this is the sweet gum leaves that she sent me, that Rosemary sent me, and absolutely, they definitely give off a lot of color. I think that they worked really, really well. You can see that it kind of, this must have been like on top, and then you can see that the ink that came out of the leaf actually leaked into the inside of this page. So it's pretty fun when you take this apart just to see what you get. You know what I mean? I know, I love those outlines. This is some more of the horse chestnut and then some of those other tree leaves. I don't know what they were. And this is a heavier paper. This is like a watercolor paper, this one. I'm trying to do it on the lightest paper, the lightest weight paper that I can, because I want to use these as pages in my journals. So I don't want to have to make a journal out of, you know, all watercolor paper. So look at the little tiny oak leaf. So cute. I think it was an oak leaf. Maybe it's a walnut. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, so some of them, you know, don't turn out real dark, but you can see the impressions of the leaves throughout the whole thing. And when you hold them up to the light, you can definitely see it on some of these lighter ones. So there's another one of those leaves from Rosemary. This is another one of the sweet gum. More sweet gum. So this was like closed like that. Isn't it cool? I just love doing this. I was almost going to just start another one right away, but then changed my mind. There's a ginkgo leaf right there. You have the funniest mental image of you creeping through that park in a disguise with your snippers and a basket. Yeah, well, that's basically what it was. So, yeah, I just had one of those, like, you know, reusable grocery bags. Mm-hmm. It was dark, too. So, anyway, more ginkgo. I love the ginkgo. Isn't it cool? Patty, you know, I don't know. It could, yeah. I mean, you know what? I would say if you want to try it on book pages, which I think is a really good idea, try it on some kind of book pages where it's real heavy book paper, you know, like from some kind of coffee table book or something, you know. I think that would probably work. So this is what happens when I dry things in my oven on this one rack. It just gives me these outline, these lines. So, but that doesn't actually bother me. See? This is watercolor paper too, so it's real heavy. But even that is fragile when it's super wet, right? Like, look at, I got a hole in it. So some of my favorite ones are down here at the bottom. This is another one of the horse chestnut. And these are sweet gum from Rosemary again. And my thing, and this is more sweet gum. My thinking is that I like to get as much in there as I can if I'm going to do it. Like I might as well do as much paper as I can. Some more ginkgo leaves, more sweet gum. This page is still a tiny bit wet too. These were, I think these were maple leaves. Yeah, those are maple. More maple. These are the sweet gum again. Those turn out really cool, don't they? That's right, Darla. Yeah, I know. I get those lines from these. They're actually like cookie racks, you know, that you can dry cookies on. Or not dry cookies, cool cookies on, you know. And they're just dedicated to my coffee dyeing and tea dyeing. So, but yeah, isn't that sweet gum awesome? Look at that. It's so cool. It's like I want more. And if I would have planned ahead, I would have taken all these leaves and as I pulled them out of there, I would have set them onto some other paper, like just some dry white paper, and to see if I could get some more dye out of those leaves. And next time, that's what I'm going to do. Because I have seen that people have done that and it works. Or maybe even onto some book pages or onto some tracing paper or something like that, you know, where you're not going to actually boil it, but just set the wet leaves onto those pages and let them dry overnight. There's some more ginkgo. More ginkgo. This was some kind of like shrub that was in the park and it had these little tiny berries that looked like they look like pepper, like black pepper, you know. And that turned out really cool. I have some more of those still. I have a box of leaves still, so I have some more of those. I'm going to do that again. And I know exactly where that bush is at the park, so I'm going to go get some more. Anyways, almost done. But yeah, so I'm going to iron these because that's what I like to do. But this impression right here is the tile that was on the bottom. Yeah, Brooke, I've done that with the spraying and stuff, and I love the result that she gets. It's very time consuming, and I don't really have as much patience as she does. I might try it at some point again, but the way that Jibid does that, it takes a long time, like at least overnight, and to me that's a long time. But anyways, so yeah, I know I like that shrub one too. I love those little berries. I know. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't be doing that. So anybody watching, I'm not telling you where my secret park is, but I don't recommend doing that. See, I'm using my favorite coffee cup today, guys. Oh. Anyway, so I'm working on all these tags, and I got all those books put away. I did. I got all those books put away. I was up really late. I was up until about 6 o'clock this morning, but you did a cheater technique, Brooke. What was that? I've done it where I just take like spray ink, like just alcohol ink, and spray it, you know, with a leaf on the page, and you know, done that kind of thing. But I haven't done it in the exact manner that, you know, Jibid does. So I'm gonna try to put together some more of those junk folios that I made. And so I've been just working on making a bunch more tags and stuff for those. I know she does. Oh, Brooke. Well, you know, there's more. There'll be more books. But that was a pretty awesome, you know, I don't know if I told you guys last night, but the guy that owns that thrift store, or runs the thrift store, he told me that if I volunteer a couple hours a week, that I could have whatever I wanted out of that store. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go volunteer. And one of the guys that was in there that I talked to in the back hallway, when I was looking through the books that were in the back hallway, that's what he told me too. He said, yeah, he said, you can just have whatever you want. He goes, I just do this because, you know, he doesn't have anything else to do or whatever. And I almost got to take home a table saw. If I had been volunteering that day, I could have taken home a table saw for my son. He took the stuff I pulled while I was weeding, sprayed dilutions and water like crazy. Stuff, layered stuff, stacked it, and let it dry for 2 days because you forgot about it. Oh, right on. Yeah, that works. I don't have any dilution sprays. I don't have much in the way of spray colors and stuff. I mean, I have my alcohol inks, and I have those color bursts, you know. And then I bet it turned out cool. I bet it turned out cool. You should post some pictures of that. Hold on. Talking to somebody. Oh, you do? Okay, Brooke. Well, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry. I'll look for it because I'm curious to see. I bet they did turn out neat. Yeah, just with weeds that you're pulling out of the garden. That's cool. I like that. Oh. Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to kind of work on like stitching on some of these pages that I have glued together and cut up, you know. And I just want to make like some little pockets that a person could glue into a book. Shh, Brooke, you're gonna get in trouble. No, I don't. I don't have a boyfriend. Anyway. That's right, Laura. They won't let me have a boyfriend anyways. Well, I had a boyfriend, but we all know how that worked out. No more nerdy biker Texans for me. So somebody was asking me how to do free motion stitching, and I don't know, I have the foot and everything to do it, and you're supposed to lower the feed dogs and all that. And I probably would do that if I was stitching on fabric, but since I'm just stitching on paper, I mean, you can just take your paper and kind of turn it around, like turn it how you want to. You know what I'm saying? Oh my goodness. So yeah, just saying. So I just want to keep a lot of these kind of just blank because I'm going to include them in those kits. And so I'm just doing a little bit of stitching around them because I want to include some tags that are kind of like half finished, you know? Plus I want to try to use up some of this stuff. Anyway, so that's all I'm doing. Yes, I know. It worked out great for you, huh, Laura? I know. That's all right. I'm too good for him anyways. Just saying. So you can do this with a zigzag too if you want to. I just prefer it with just a straight stitch. Because I really like that kind of messy stitch look. Hi, Rhonda. How you doing? Oh, that's funny, Rhonda. I know. I actually had that happen one time at a job. They actually missed me. I know. I'm never gonna, there's no way I could possibly use up everything, but there are certain things that I do want to try to use up, you know? Like, I glued together so many book pages. I want to use them. So some of them I go around like completely twice. Some I just go around 1.5 or whatever. I just use glue stick on these, Lolly, and seems to work pretty well. It's a permanent glue though, not school glue. So like the Elmer's, but it's not the extreme. And I felt okay about doing that because I knew that for the most part they were all going to get stitched around the edges too. So yeah. I don't usually trim all of the threads off, but try to make them at least somewhat manageable. So what are you guys doing? Wally, how's your sewing journal coming along? Yeah, there you go, Laura. Exactly. Yeah, that sounds good. So these ones are just like 2 pages glued together, and they're kind of thin, so I'm going to use those for something else. But the ones that I feel like they're pretty stable, I'm making them into tags. But I probably will go back and gesso the backs of these, at least one side. Ugh. I know, you like harassing me, don't you, Brooke? I don't know why people like to harass me. It must be entertaining at some level. Oh, right on, Lolly. Breaking down some old sewing books. Cool. Yeah, I have that sewing Bible or whatever I think it's called, the sewing Bible. It's a newer book, and somebody had told me that they wanted some pages out of it. I can't remember who it was, but are you doing kind of like a vintage style then? Is gesso better than putting paint on the back of the tags? You know, it just depends on the gesso for one thing, and the paint. But like a lot of these, okay, like this is gesso, and this one is pretty opaque. It's, you know, you really can't see much of the writing under it. This one's paint. This is like a cream color paint, you know. So it depends on what you want to get. This is a pretty heavy gesso too. So actually, you know what? This is cheap acrylic paint mixed with gesso. So it's not just gesso. But this one is just paint. So, you know, it just depends, Laura. Depends on what you want. If you want them to be completely blacked out or whited out where you can't see any of the text, then, you know, I would say, yeah, just gesso. Let me see if I have one that's more transparent. Yeah, like this one. See how you can really see the writing still? This is just paint. So, yeah. As far as the writing surface, like what that does to the surface, that, you know, how it feels on your pen and that kind of thing, you probably don't want to use certain types of pen on that surface. Like you don't want to use a Sharpie on here. You know, you could use like a ballpoint pen or a gel pen or something like that on this painted surface. But you don't want to use a Sharpie because they'll dry out. There's a little bit of a solvent. The alcohol that's in the Sharpies and alcohol-based markers, the alcohol that's in them is a solvent. And the solvent will actually start, you know, I guess, what's the word? Dissolving the paint, and the paint will then get absorbed into the nib of the pen, and then your pen will get clogged up. And so that's why you don't want to use Sharpie on a painted surface, because the alcohol actually starts to dissolve the paint, or, you know, thin the paint or whatever. So yeah, a ballpoint pen or a gel pen is fine, or a paint pen. If you want to use a paint pen, anything other than an alcohol-based, than an alcohol marker, you know. Somebody said they were cutting ads from vintage magazines. Oh, right on, Lolly. Yeah, I'm gonna do that with some of those magazines that I got yesterday. Yeah, maybe I'll pull some of those out and start tearing some ads out of those. And then also I want to start cutting apart that book. That bird book. You guys probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but that big bird book that I showed you yesterday. So I don't even know if I'm going to gesso these or paint these, because these are going to go in those kits. And I sort of want to leave that up to whoever it is that winds up with the kit, you know, whether or not they want to gesso it or paint it, because, you know, if you're doing something and working with a certain color or something, it's nice to have that kind of go along with your tags. No, it's not an Audubon one. Well, I did get an Audubon one, but I don't think that was a bird book. That's just an encyclopedia. It's this book. It's like this real heavy Birds of the World. And this is, I have another copy of this book that I've cut apart too. So this is the kind of paper that I was thinking would be cool to use if in like an eco dye, because it's pretty heavy paper, you know. Yeah. And this book has some water damage on the cover, so yeah. But I've already gotten a ton of images out of the other one. I love the eggs. I love the eggs on that front page. All these eggs. Aw, thank you, Judy. Thank you. They're fun to make. It's kind of crazy how quickly I can get, you know, 20 tags stitched up, especially doing it this way, where I'm not stopping at each corner, and you know what I mean. And I just like it better this way. Come out a little more messy. I like that messy stitching. Yeah, I got in trouble about this book. The pages from this book, this is the one that I got in trouble about. Yes, the one, yes, that guy kept it from me. Exactly. Thank you, Lolly. Yep. Yeah, well, I finally got it. And I gave my mom the leaves today. Yeah, so whoever winds up with this kit, just be aware that this page came from the book I got in trouble for cutting apart. Because apparently, you know, it's worth like $1 million or something. I didn't know any better. Here, now you guys can see a little bit better what the heck I'm doing. Oh, from whom did I get in trouble? Oh, somebody chastised me, or at least I felt like I was being chastised on my one of my videos where I was showing a bunch of books that I had gotten, and they said, you know, did you tear up that Albert book yet? Because I just noticed that it's selling for between $600 and $700, you know. And I was like, oh, heck yeah, I tore that book up months ago. And yeah, so whatever. It happens. It happens. And you know what? So that just made all the other ones that are on the planet worth a little bit more money. That's the way I look at it. Now, if I know that the book is worth a little bit more money, then, you know, yeah, that's a different story. But, you know, if you don't look, then you don't know. And I didn't even think to look at that one particularly, so. Yeah, oopsie. I know. Exactly, Karla. Yeah, it was my book. I mean, you know, at that point, it was like, it's my book. So this one, I have to stop at the edges, at the corners, because it's so small. It's hard for me to grab a hold of the paper to, you know, manipulate it how I want. And then I just go around the edges once. That's true, Patty. That's true. Asking price is way different than selling price. I know. That's a point that I try to make to my kids when they tell me, you know, well, they don't so much do it anymore, but they used to, you know, tell me that their Pokemon cards were worth, you know, like $1 million or something. I'd be like, yeah, well, you know, it's only worth that if somebody's willing to pay that for it, you know? So. But I mean, I know what a lot of the books are worth that I buy because I buy them, you know? I mean, I'm not going to spend what some of the books are worth, but, you know, for the most part, I know what they're worth. Anyways. And I think I'm going to hoard the childcraft books for the rest of my life. Yeah, I know. Laura was saying she looks away when she rips up a book. A lot of people do. A lot of people have a hard time with it, you know? And I think that that's good that people have a hard time with that because, I mean, you know, if you're tearing apart books that are in good condition and that are useful still and in use, then, you know, I feel like, you know, maybe that's not such a great idea. But if it's a book that, like a lot of these encyclopedias, it's like nobody's going to use these encyclopedias anymore. You know, nobody's going to use them. And they're not even making them anymore. It's like there's no market. There's no need for encyclopedias anymore. People are not going to use them. So they're just going to sit on somebody's shelf and, you know, just be, you know. Now, I mean, if they're some kind of rare collectible, you know, set or something like that, then, you know, and you're a book collector, you better start collecting. That's the way I feel about it, you know. You better get busy. Especially if you're going to get mad at me if I tear one of them up. But, you know, if I go into a used bookstore and I buy books off of their dollar rack or whatever, I don't tell them I'm going to tear them up. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to upset people. Even though a lot of people think that, you know, I like starting fights. I don't. That's right, Rhonda. You just, yeah, a lot of them just sit on the shelf unloved, and we love them, and we appreciate all the little nuances about everything about them. So, and that's right, Rhonda. You just say, okay, Google, and, you know, you don't even have to say, okay, Google, or hey, Google, or whatever. All you have to do is talk about stuff, and then Google knows you're talking about it, and it'll tell you all you need to know the next day anyways, or the next time you look at your phone. You don't even have to ask it anymore. It just tells you. Go, hey, you want to look? I think you should look at this article about talking nicely, Jessica. That's what Google does. So it's probably going to give me some links to some articles about, you know, restoring books or something later. Or some encyclopedia thing or something. Yeah, it is creepy. It is creepy. Yeah, I absolutely don't have any guilt tearing up damaged books either, Patty. Especially if they're like really damaged. That's, you know, I mean, that's kind of a given, right? That's like mercy. It's like a merciful killing, you know. But it's just paper. I mean, really, it's just paper. Whoops. It's just paper. And some chipboard. Oh yeah, Rhonda, your phone listens. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Your phone is listening, and that's Google. Yep. If you have an Android phone, then you have Google. If you have a phone that runs on Android, then it is linked to Google. Yeah. And I mean, you know, some people think it's a good thing. Because, you know, it's intuitive and it knows what you need, it knows what you want. I think it's creepy too. This paper is kind of soft at the end of this tag right here, so it keeps like going off the edge. Okay, I guess it's done. Yeah, exactly. One good thing about not making so many books, maybe saving some trees. Yes, Lisa, exactly. I feel like we're definitely saving some trees by not making so many books. Yeah, that's you know, that's kind of what the thought is, right? With ebooks and stuff is, you know, stop using so much paper. And so, you know, if I'm reusing a bunch of paper that they cut down, you know, from trees that they cut down in the 20s, and I'm using it again in, you know, whatever year this is, I think that's a good thing. I do. I think it's awesome. I'm just, you know, I'm not a book collector, so. It's funny when they ask me if I'm a book collector, though. Because I feel like I'm a book collector. I'm just not. But Lolly, you said that you restore books, huh? So I think that's interesting. Exactly, Margie. Yeah, get you an Android phone or you know, an iPhone, and it'll get you whatever you want, or at least it knows whatever you want. It thinks it does. Yeah, it's just spooky. It used to be, you know, that Google's whole like what's it called? Logarithm was just kind of set up to sort of respond to your searches and things that you searched, or that kind of stuff. Like, but now it's like, or like things that you talked about in an email to somebody. Now that I think is, that I think is weird. Yeah, see, Lolly's a book collector. I'm not a book collector. I'm a book user. You have 15,000 books, Lolly? That's awesome. I'll bet you have some amazing books. How do you stop from tearing them apart? How do you stop yourself from tearing them apart? That's what I would do. Right? But yeah, don't let me come near your house. No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to tear up the sewing books either, just so everybody knows. I'm not tearing up those sewing books that I got yesterday. I want to, but I'm not gonna. I might go through them, and depending on the dates on them, I might copy some stuff out of them, though. If I said I'm not going to, then I'm not going to. I do what I say. I try to, anyway. I try to do what I say I'm going to do, or not do what I said I wasn't going to do. And, yeah. So that's where I'm at with that, Brooke. Now, believe me, I have enough other stuff that I can tear apart. I'm not just all about tearing apart books anyways. That's not like my whole goal in life. But I do like the content, and I like the paper. I like the text. I like the smell of them. I like the texture. I probably smell like cayenne pepper right now, honestly. Yeah, that makes sense, Lolly. New old ones or duplicates you find. There you go. Yeah, see? She knows what she's doing. Lolly knows what she's doing. Anyway, isn't this exciting, you guys? Isn't this exciting? Because I'm doing this system cleanse thing, Brooke, with cayenne and ginger and honey and lemon juice, and 3 times a day. So, yeah, I'm like almost 2 weeks into it. Old photographs, eBay. I would say definitely eBay. Search up, yeah, there's tons of free downloads for photographs, absolutely, but impurities. Yeah, impurities. Good, Karla. I'm glad. Yeah, because you know I did it just for you because I love you. But yeah, if you search on eBay, vintage, you know, black and white photos, you'll get tons of results. Seriously, yeah, actual photos. Yeah. So let me just show you as an example. So you want like pictures like this, right? Like that are just actual photographs, right? Like this kind of stuff. Is this what you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Those actually came in another lot of stuff that I bought on eBay, but so those were part of it. But yeah, I've seen, I mean, they're auctions. You know, a lot of them are auctions, and they're, I wouldn't say they're super cheap, like cheap, but you know, you probably pick up 1,000 for, you know, $20 or $30, you know. Yeah, and then, you know, when you weed them out and look through them and figure out the ones you want, but you know, be specific about black and white. I love eBay. I use eBay all the time. And I know that we have lots and lots of sellers on Etsy that have awesome stuff. But, you know, I'm not, I mean, I'm trying to, I have other thoughts in mind with what I'm making and stuff, you know. So, oh, Rosemary's here. Hi, Rosemary. Yeah, I came on for a little while because Karla needed she Karla needed inspiration, or what was it? No, motivation. Yes, absolutely, Rosemary. That's what I was going to tell you. You want to see the papers that I did? I mean, it'll be on the recorded video anyways, but I might as well just show you since you're here. I'll show ya. So these are the I'm not going to go through them like, you know, every single one, but I wanted you to see some of the ginkgo. See how the ginkgo leaves turned out? Nice, huh? So let's see. Let me find. It's hard for me to remember, but I think that was, no, that's not. Yeah, see, more ginkgo. I really love the ginkgo leaves. So I can't remember what the name, what this leaf was that I got from you. What was that again, Rosemary? Yeah, I didn't even wait for you to answer, but I'm showing you anyways. I don't remember what that was, and I didn't even notice at first when I opened that package from you. Yeah, pecan, that's right. It turned out really good. And some of them kind of fell apart, and so I just placed them around. But yeah, that's from your sweet gum leaves. So much color came out of that. It leaked out into the inside. You know, it was on top, and then it just leaked in there. So cool. Yeah, those are amazing. There's another one, and then that's your sweet gum leaves too, and that's the pecan. There's some more of them. More ginkgo. I love the ginkgo leaves. They're so cool. Yeah, there's some more of your pecan leaves. So I use drawing paper for a lot of this. This is a what'd I say? Chestnut, horse chestnut. There's ginkgo and then the sweet gum. Oh, here's the good one. Here's the good one. Yeah, this one's my favorite. And that one. Yeah. So those do give off a lot of color. So pretty. So, so, so pretty. I added some avocado pits and skins to the boil too. So, and I think I did get a little bit of color from that. And then this was some kind of like berry, like bush. I like these little berries that were on it. They're kind of like peppercorns. So, anyways, I just want to show Rosemary real quick, you guys, because she wasn't here earlier. Oh, right on. Good job, Rosemary. I should actually do that because I have some questions too. So the berries are still your favorite, Brooke? Yeah, they're cool, huh? Yeah, you guys, Rosemary is like, whether she wants to claim it or not, you know, in our community, I would say Rosemary is definitely, at this point, she's an authority on the eco dyeing, you know, trend lately. So I would definitely check that out because she knows what she's doing, and she's gotten some amazing results. And she's got some pretty cool stuff actually for sale in her shop too that she's done. If you're not into, you know, actually trying to do the dyeing, she produces some really nice work. So, you know, go and favorite her Etsy shop, and then, you know, when she posts new listings and things like that, you'll get notifications. So, and then also subscribe to her channel, because I've noticed that she does make a video pretty much every time she's listing that kind of stuff. So she's done some rusting and stuff too that I'm really intrigued with. So yeah. And if anybody has not subscribed to Brooke's channel, I would suggest that you do that too, because she's got some really, really cool ideas as far as, you know, the paper bag journal and some really good ideas for beginners and things like that. So I would definitely subscribe to Brooke's channel too. And Karla. Karla makes some really cool journals. She does. She makes some really cool journals. She's got a really nice style. And I think we can all definitely learn from each other. So. Oh, Karla, did you get some stuff from Rosemary? Right on. What did you get? Tell us what you got. Did you get some fabric? I'm keeping my eye out for things that I can use for rusting, because I want to try that. I definitely want to try that. I know you were saying, Rosemary, that I could do it with the with those rusted like filigrees and stuff, and I'm thinking that's actually a really good idea. I might do that. Are you going to do a workshop on the rusting? Or is that what this... I mean a video, or like a... not a workshop. Yeah, a workshop. Or like some kind of class or something that would be available online. You know, because we can't all come to your house. Just saying. I might, though. I'm always down for a road trip. She does rock. Oh, that's funny. You guys are awesome. Awesome possum. Yeah, this is, I know, really, really exciting, but this is what I'm doing, so, you know. These are just tags made out of some Popular Mechanics book pages glued together, these ones. And I'm going to add some of these to my junk folios that I'm going to be listing probably next week sometime. I have to make the folio part, but I know there was quite a few people who actually wanted one of those that didn't get one, so I'm going to put some more together. I think I might add a little bit more fabric to them this time too. A little bit more fabric. Well, you can go to Rosemary's house. You can. I'm pretty sure if Rosemary would allow you to, you probably could. Brooke. I know, it would be awesome, Karla, wouldn't it? You see, Karla, you're a lot closer. You're a lot closer. Well, she'd probably kick Brooke out, but I don't know if she'd kick us out. I cracked myself up. Oh, I know. No, I like watching Rosemary because her voice is just very, like, calm and stuff, and she has the best laugh. Oh my God. I just love your laugh, Rosemary. I'm just saying. I do. I do. So what do you call somebody from Arkansas? Do you call them a Arkansian? Yeah, you better bring some good snacks. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they better be good snacks, Brooke. You should, Rosemary. You should totally do that. Um, the art commune. Absolutely. For people with tiny houses. Yes, because I'm going to buy a tiny house. And well, actually I'm going to buy a short bus and make it a tiny house, and then I'm going to drive it to your house. Yeah, either that or I'm going to put it on a boat and take it over and live with Shelly. After my kids move out and they're all gone and grown and all that, which they will be one day because I'm thinking positive, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to buy a short bus and I'm going to fix it up, put a nice cozy bed in it and a wood stove and solar panels, battery bank. I'm going to get one of those like eco toilets that doesn't take water, you know, and just put sawdust in it and stuff. And I'm going to go like totally off-grid green and put all my journaling stuff in it. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Gypsy Caravan. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, and I'm going to put a little like back porch on it on my short bus. Like, cuz you know they have the emergency door in the back. So I'm going to build a little back porch on it. And I'll have like flower boxes and stuff, and I'll do some stained glass windows and put a skylight in. I might even put like a little sun deck type of thing up on the roof. You know, I don't know. I might like make a yurt, but I think if I do that, that would have to just get stored. I think I would probably prefer to live in the short bus, and then you know, like whenever I wind up somewhere, like I could hang out in the yurt, you know, just to have like a second kind of you know, space, maybe as a studio space or something. But I really want to have my short bus set up as my studio. So yeah, no more 2-3 shopping cart you know, shopping sprees to the thrift store once that happens. But you know, I have to be a lot more choosy about the items that I have in my house. But yeah, the shop, the yurt could be my vacation house. Yeah, yeah, that's perfect. I live in Washington State. I live in Spokane. Okay, reading chat, guys. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I need a bigger than a short bus. I don't know, but I like saying short bus. You live in Alabama, note spinner, right on. Why? Wait a second. Okay, now this. Oh, this is the ladies on the fly or something. Rosemary, you're talking about. Yeah, they meet up to fly fish. That's so funny. Are they the ones that they do the spear hunting too? Like spear fishing, I mean? Oh, that's funny, Rosemary. You had someone come from New York? Right on. I want to do a workshop. I want to have people come to my house and hang out, and I think that would be fun. Except for, I don't know what I would do, you know? No spears allowed? I bet that would be fun. I bet that would be fun. Just looking for stuff, guys. So I did a whole bunch of these tags, like, you know, like this, with just like some fabric and maybe a button, and then one of those little tiny tags that I've been making, and just on a clip or on a bolt pin. So I was thinking, I don't know, maybe I'll do that with some of those too. I don't know. Hillbilly fishing. 4 ladies drove up from Texas a few weeks ago. Really? That is so cool. Yeah. See, I should do it. I should just drive down there. I wonder how long it would take from Washington. How many miles is it from Washington to, you're in, where, what city are you in again, Rosemary, or what town? Built a storage building and traded the motorhome for a couple of rooms down to the front storage building. Making 2 grand. Oh. 10 by 20 feet of the storage room, just 2 rooms. Fort Smith, Arkansas. Okay, right, that's right. Yeah, and it's probably like 1,800 miles at least. Let's see. Oh my goodness. I've always wanted to live in a, what are those, like, octagon shaped dome, like a geodome. I think a geodome would be really cool. Because you can, you know, make some of the panels like solid, and then some glass or some just like translucent or whatever, depending on what you want, right? Okay. The rest of these are going to have a different life. Yeah, I haven't felt like covering my desk with anything lately, so I'm just dealing with it the way it is. Okay, and then I wanted to make some more of those just pages like this, you know, and then maybe make some that are like double. So let's see what I have glued up. But I don't want to use anything that's too thick. So those would probably work. That would work as a pocket. Pocket. Oh, that should be tags. Pocket, pocket. Tags. Pockets. I want some more of these readers, like these kids, these children's like readers, you know? I need more of those in my life. I think these could be like double. Ooh, I like that side better. Just picking out pages that I want to make into pockets. These are pretty thick. Why did I do that? It's really thin. Okay. This is just what I do all the time, you guys. Always. That's pretty thin, but it could be. So is that. All right. Those are tags. What? Sorry. What's fascinating? Sorry, I know I'm not being exceptionally. You got some gorgeous readers. Right on, Brooke. You could send them over here. Note spinner. I see. So just so you guys know, like it's hard for me to know if you're talking to me if you're not in caps, in all caps. But this is what I've been using to glue pages together. I also use like matte Mod Podge sometimes, and then I have a bunch of this Recollections too that Josie sent me and some Happy Mail. So I'm using that because it's a permanent glue. Yes, the killer cutter. Yeah. It's a good cutter. It's a really nice cutter. It's a sweetie. So I want to make some pockets. I kind of want the text to be like readable, you know? I mean, not that anybody's going to sit there and read the text on these pockets necessarily, but I just want the text going the correct like direction. You know what I mean? So I'm making these kind of like double. And so then these ones that, I don't know, they're like offcuts, I guess you would say, right? They're kind of thin. I don't know what I'm going to do with that paper. I'll figure it out later. I'll try not to cut myself in front of you guys. Okay, so you bought one of the permanent Elmer sticks, and you're saying it was expensive. You're wondering if you did something wrong because it didn't hold very well. You know, I am pretty generous with the glue. I will say, like, I'm pretty generous with it. Yeah, Uhu is supposed to be really good. Anti-glue stick jeans. Yeah, I don't know. It seems to work pretty well for me, but I don't, I also don't care if it sticks all the way out to the edges either, because for the most part, everything that I'm doing is getting like stitched around the edges. So, yeah. Yeah, see, like some of these, obviously. But yeah, that's what I use. I don't know. I am pretty generous with the glue, though. So, I know. Why don't I just fold it up? I don't want to fold it up because I want the text to be going in the right direction. That's why. So, I wind up with a couple of extra little, you know, seams or whatever. I think she's pretty. We'll just make that a pocket all by itself. Anyways, you used it to stick papers to ATCs and they started coming apart. Yeah, you know, it might depend on, you know, what kind of surface you're gluing to also, because I could, like, if you're gluing onto some kind of like slick surface or something, glue sticks won't work. Like, it has to be a porous type of paper, you know. Yeah, I used glue stick when I was making some of these. So I was gluing like book pages, but it was like from like a coffee table type of book, so it had like slick paper, and I was gluing it onto the craft paper, and it just peeled right off because the slick paper, you know, wouldn't adhere to the craft paper because it wasn't porous. So I think for like porous papers, you're fine. Or yeah, if you sand it a little